In this video, we will be reviewing the Eternal Engine Expert Advisor by Mr. Wei Tu. This Expert Advisor developer is also the creator of the Wei Tu Stars EA, which is a very good EA, so I'm quite excited to review his other premium bot here. So we can read the sales page to get a better idea of how this bot actually works, and it claims to use multiple indicators and strategies and to manage drawdowns well while being not particularly spread sensitive. And if we look at the different pairs which it trades, we can see the Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, Aussie CAD, Euro USD, and GBP USD. This indicates that it likely trades some sort of mean reversion system. And particularly, it does appear to be a grid martingale because there are some descriptors such as grid distance, volume multiplier, which effectively means like at what distance do the different trades open at, which comprise the grid. And the volume multiplier, that just means the martingale factor. Do you want to go times 2? Do you want to go times 1.3? Effectively, how quickly do you want to scale lot size based on your given risk preferences? And if we flip through some of these photos here, we can also see that there's clearly a detachment of the equity and the balance lines from each other. And this would also indicate the presence of a grid martingale system. We can now flip over to the signal page here. This is the low risk page in particular. And here we're able to see that we've had roughly 100% returns over the past couple of years. And as well, too, the equity curve does appear characteristic of a grid martingale with the detachment of equity and balance. And if we scroll through here as well, we can see that trades are indeed closing in a grid, and there is a scaling of lot size as losers happen. So this is a 3-grid trade here, for instance, and as the trades start to go against the initial entry sign, it would then scale the lot size. So yes, this is very much a characteristic grid martingale system. And now we can open up MetaTrader to backtest it in more detail. Here I took the liberty of downloading it from the MT5 marketplace and running a quick backtest. And here actually I did not even set this up. I just ran a 1-year backtest on the Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. And from what you can see here in the graph is the grid blew up. And you guys might remember this from earlier in the spring of this year, where the Waka Waka was entering these enormous drawdowns, because typically the Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar is an extremely mean reverting currency. But this year, for some fundamental reason, it trended like crazy for several months. And this was causing many grid systems, which are actually tend to trade this pair based on this pair because of its usual mean reverting nature, to blow. And this system appears to be undergoing the exact same phenomenon. So let me perhaps quickly try on the Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar, just to see if we can run a different backtest. But this really highlights the danger of running a more dangerous strategy like a grid martingale. Because yes, it can look phenomenal until it doesn't. But as you saw here with the previous graph, you just need one bad run of trades with any grid martingale system to completely blow it. So you really have to be careful when running it. But we can kind of pop back over here to the Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar backtest. And yes, you can see that these dips in equity are very characteristic of how the system would typically work. And let me go back to the Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar here of our previous backtest, just to see how it would look when actually running. Let's just pick a random date, and perfect. So yes, clearly this is a grid martingale system. We can see that it's opening multiple trades and it's closing at a similar time. This would be characteristic of a grid. And if we just keep scrolling back, we're now beyond the backtest period. We can scroll forward a bit, and we can see that, for instance, here another grid happened. We can see another grid taking place here, a few more grids happening here. So yes, clearly a grid martingale system in nature. So maybe that's a good wrap up for this strategy here. This is a very characteristic basic grid martingale approach. Nothing too crazy. Likely the entry signal might be a little bit more complex than some other ones, but there's a million expert advisors like this on the market. They use some sort of mean reversion indicator typically to enter the position, but as soon as you're into the position, it uses a grid martingale style approach to run. Nothing wrong with this type of expert advisor, particularly in the case of prop firm challenges. It can be quite useful. However, just know what you're buying. It's nothing super fancy. This might be a little bit expensive considering that it's not a particularly novel or complex strategy, but something to explore, and it's definitely an honest system, but you should just know what you're buying. And yes, that's a wrap up for today. So stick around for the following short clip to receive a free expert advisor from us at Prosperity Algo Solutions, and have a great day. Before you click away, if you're looking to get a real expert advisor, here at Prosperity Algo Solutions, we're currently offering our golden time bomb system based on automating the London breakout and opening range breakout 100% for free. Watch the pinned video to find out more and to get access.